Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've told you in the past that about every 2 weeks or so, I go into Sportsman's Warehouse to pick myself up some of these jet boil canisters of butane. And while I was there, I was walking around and I actually saw something else that I was looking for that I always forget to pick up. And I just wanted to show you guys these. I love these spoons. They're made out of titanium. And let me take a look. What's the package say? Here's the name of them. Cetos Summit Alpha Light. And they're titanium spoons and they're awesome. And I have one of these already. But it seems that little Miss Alaska Prepper always wants to use it because it's now her favorite spoon. So I had to go replace the one that I have for myself. But anyways, I just thought I'd show you these. These are really nice. They have a nice long handle. And I really like that they're not thick. I really don't like thick spoons. So I ended up getting a couple of these. And I ended up getting 4 of the butane canisters because at Sportsman's Warehouse, they have a limit. You can only buy 4 per visit. So I usually go there every 2 weeks or so. My wife goes there every 2 weeks or so. And we each pick up 4 to add to our stock because we know that we're going to need it. Right, we know that we're going to need it. If something happens to where we don't have any fuel for cooking, we have enough that we can cook for a good long while. We probably have enough to cook for about a month and a half now. But anyways, this video is not about that. That's the reason why I went to Sportsman's Warehouse. Well, I was there. I saw that they have this Mountain House Mexican-style adobo, rice, and chicken. And although you always hear me rave about nutrient survival, because in my opinion, it's the very best food there is in the market, I have a whole bunch of Mountain House, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you that have been with me for a while know that I have a whole bunch of Mountain House, and I like Mountain House. I think it's very tasty. I think it's very good. They've proven themselves throughout the test of time, meaning that there's been Mountain House pouches found that were 40 years old, and the food in there was still good. Right, so they have proven themselves to be a good long-term survival food. Anyways, when I was there, I noticed that this was on sale. I don't know what the price used to be, but I purchased this one for like 46 bucks, for $46.93, something like that. And although you can get them online for $45 if they're not sold out, it's still a little cheaper online if you get free shipping than what I paid for it. But I paid $46 and change for this. Not really a terrible deal, especially with the price of long-term foods now that's being charged. So I was like, you know what? I'm always hearing how people tell me in the comments whenever I talk about nutrient survival, and not everyone, but many do. They say, well, nutrient survival is too expensive. I'd rather just have Mountain House. So I was like, let me go ahead and buy one of these. I have no idea what the price comes out to or anything like that. Before I bought it, I was like, let me buy it. Let me do a comparison. I mean, a full comparison as far as the ingredients. And you know what? I won't even talk about the extra nutrients that Nutrient Survival has that Mountain House doesn't. I'll just talk about the taste. I'll talk about the calories. I'll talk about the number of servings. And I'll talk about the cost. The cost as far as calories and the cost as far as servings and the calories and everything. So I want to cover everything that each of these have to offer. And then you can make up your own mind as to which you think is better. Again, I am not talking bad about Mountain House. I think Mountain House makes a great product. In my opinion, this is where I go because this has the nutrients that I think everyone ought to have, especially in a stressful situation. But let's go ahead and open both of these up. I'm going to show you what they look like inside. We're going to go ahead and cook up 1 serving of each. And guess what? It's about lunchtime, so I'm going to be eating those. And then we'll go over to the computer to go ahead and match the ingredients, to take a look at the price, the calories, and everything. So first, let's go ahead and open both of these up. Every time that I use this can opener, someone always asks me, where did I get it? Ladies and gentlemen, it's in my Amazon storefront. I forget what they're called. I think they're like a swing handle can opener or something like that. But it is in my Amazon storefront. I highly recommend it, especially if you have like arthritis or something like that. Very easy to open your cans using this canner, especially number 10 cans. Here is our Mountain House, and I forgot to show you, this is a 16-ounce can. So there's 16 ounces as far as weight goes in here. And as you can see, that's the inside. And one of the major differences right off the bat between Mountain House and Nutrient Survival is that Mountain House actually has meat protein in it, whereas Nutrient Survival is completely vegetarian. And let's go ahead and take out our oxygen absorber. Let me go ahead and smell it. There's not much smell to it. And freeze-dried foods, you're not going to really have a lot of smell to it. But you can see the pieces of chicken in there. I think there's some zucchini in there. I'm not sure what that is, but we'll see it in the ingredients. Now, this is the Nutrient Survival. And as you can see inside the Nutrient Survival, it's a rice and bean dish. And Nutrient Survival, you're looking at, let's see if you can see it there, 23.9 ounces. All right, so Nutrient Survival by weight, it's a little bit more than Mountain House, was actually quite a bit more. And like I said, it's completely vegetarian. So if you see here on Mountain House, it says that one serving is 65 grams of the dry mix, or 1.5 cups. So we're going to weigh it out to 65 grams. So what I'm doing is I have a kitchen scale right here. This is the container that I'm going to go ahead and put the food in. Let's turn it on. And I think I still have to turn this over to grams, but let's see. Yes, it's in ounces, so we'll change it to grams. Let's see. And there you go, it's zeroed out. So now we're going to go ahead and weigh out 65 grams. And there you have it, 66 grams. So we went 1 grain of rice over, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, look at that, it's 65 grams again. You get it, it's close enough. Now we're going to do the same thing with the Nutrient Survival. And we are zeroed out. Let's double check Nutrient Survival. I think this one's 68 grams, but let's double check. So one serving here is 68 grams. And there you go, 68 grams, 69, good enough. And I forgot to tell you what this smells like. Same thing with this one, not very much of a smell. I kind of smelled a little bit of the peppers they use in there, but not very much of a smell at all. Same as the Mountain House as far as giving out any aromas. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get our water ready. All right, so for the Nutrient Survival, we need 3/4 of a cup per serving. Okay, so we're going to get 3/4 of a cup of water. I'm just going to weigh it out. So we're going to get 6 ounces of water per serving. And I already switched that over 2 ounces. Look at that, 6.2. That's good enough. In all honesty, with the Nutrient Survival, with the Southwest Medley, actually this is the Southwest Medley, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think I told you that. But this is the Nutrient Survival Southwest Medley. With the Southwest Medley, I found that putting just a little more water is better, and actually letting it sit for a couple more minutes than what they recommend is better as well, because it makes sure that everything absorbs all of the water necessary. So what we're going to do now is heat up that water, put it in the container, and cover it. And the instructions say to let it sit for 4 to 5 minutes, but we're going to let both of them sit for roughly 6 minutes apiece. And let's cover it up. And I really like these little bowls because they keep the heat inside and the pressure. And when you're ready to open it, if you want to release the pressure inside, that way it doesn't pop open, you just press this little button right here. Now let's go ahead and do the Mountain House. All right, let's cover it up. And while these two are waiting to rehydrate, let's go over to the computer and let's take a look at the ingredients, the calories, and all that stuff. Let's turn this off. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so as you can see, this is our Mountain House Mexican style adobo rice and chicken. And the first thing that I see when I look at this, and remember, I'm not trying to be critical of anything, okay? I'm trying to make this review as honest as possible, even though I am biased towards Nutrient Survival. I'll tell you that up front. But I have a whole bunch of Mountain House, and I do like Mountain House as well. there is one thing that I'm going to do in order to fix my mountain house whenever I do have to use it, and I'm going to show you that here later on. But with your mountain house, you can see already that they only have 7 servings per can. We noticed that the can of Mountain House, which came in at $46 for me, but we'll go with $45, okay? We'll go with $45, which is what's on their site. The can of Mountain House has 16 ounces of product in it. And then here is our nutritional information. It has 7 servings of 65 grams per. It has 280 calories per serving. 7 grams of fat, 1.5 grams of saturated fat, 0 trans fat, 25 milligrams of cholesterol, 490 milligrams of sodium, which is really not bad. That's pretty good for Mountain House. Usually they have pretty high sodium. The carbohydrate total is 40 grams, but however, of that 40 grams of carbohydrates, 5 grams is dietary fiber. So you can really say that it's got 35 grams of carbohydrates, because the fiber usually negates the carbohydrates gram per gram. And then 3 grams of total sugar, okay? 15 grams of protein. And then we won't even go over the nutrition, because I think that the nutrition is terrible in every single long-term storage food that I've seen, with the exception of Nutrient Survival. But let's take a look at the ingredients here. It has long grain parboiled rice. The sauce that it comes with includes chicken fat, tomatoes, which is tomato juice, calcium chloride, citric acid, dried chicken broth, and cornstarch. Less than 2% of tomato paste, sea salt, cumin, chili powder, which is chili pepper, spice, and garlic powder, oregano, pinto beans. It has chicken meat in it, unlike the Nutrient Survival, which is vegetarian. It has chili paste, which includes bell peppers, canola, / olive oil blends, onions, garlic, paprika, lime juice concentrate, ancho chilies, sugar, salt, lime peel, chipotle, oregano, cumin, mustard, black pepper, onion, cauliflower, and zucchini. I knew that was zucchini I seen in there, right? So these are the ingredients, and the ingredients, I have to tell you, they look pretty decent, right? They look pretty decent. And that's it. That's what we have for our Mountain House adobo, right? Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Nutrient Survival. So the Nutrient Survival is $57.75 for a number 10 can, ladies and gentlemen. And the number 10 can, I believe it was 26 ounces for the number 10 can, and it comes with 10 servings. We're going to go through the numbers here in a little bit, but let me go ahead and show you what the ingredients and the nutritional information is. All right, so for ingredients, we have as well long grain white rice, black beans, red beans, green bell peppers, red bell peppers, onion, pinto beans, pea protein, spices, expeller pressed canola oil, butter, jalapeno peppers, or jalapeno peppers, as we used to call it in the military, yeast extract, tomato, green onion, garlic, sugar, paprika, turmeric, natural flavors, sea salt, palm kernel oil, oat fiber, and then it has the nutrient blend, which is all of this stuff here. But they list all of the actual nutrients that they put in there. But here they actually tell you what percentage of the daily value it provides. All right. Now, people ask me, what are natural flavors? And I did not know what that was either until I asked Eric, the CEO of Nutrient Survival. And what natural flavors are, they're flavors that are extracted from something. So like, for example, you can say that a natural flavor of almond, if you're eating something that has almonds in it, for example, and it says natural flavors, it means that they extracted the almond oil out of the almond and they used that to add more flavor to that product they were making. That's what natural flavors are. Now, I don't know, all right? I'm not picking on Mountain House. I do not know if Mountain House uses only organic, non-GMO. I can tell you that Nutrient Survival uses organic, non-GMO, okay? So everything that they put in their stuff is organic / non-GMO. And it makes it a bit of a hassle for Nutrient Survival to source some of their foods in bulk because, like I said, they only source organic, non-GMO foods. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the nutrition facts. The calories is the same as the Mountain House, 280 calories. The fat is 8 grams. The saturated fat is 2 grams. Trans fat is 0. Cholesterol, 5 milligrams. Sodium, surprisingly to me, sodium is a little more than the actual Mountain House at 550 milligrams. Total carbohydrates comes in at 40 grams. Dietary fiber is 6, so that means that the total carbohydrates is really about 34 grams with a total sugar content of 2 grams. All right, and of course it says added sugar 0%. It has 12 grams of protein, which in my opinion is not bad for being an all-vegetarian dish. And then here, I said I wasn't going to talk about all the nutrients, but there's all the nutrients that it has, ladies and gentlemen. And this right here, I'm not talking about it, but this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the main reason why I purchased Nutrient Survival, because of this right here. It also tastes good as well, all right? But this here, it's the main reason I purchased it. So for the Nutrient Survival, a number 10 can comes out at $57.75. Now it has 10 servings at 280 calories per serving. But let's go ahead and just divide this by 10. So we can see that each serving comes out at $5.77. We can say 78 cents. So $5.78 per serving. Now let's go ahead and divide that 578 by the number of calories divided by 280. So you're paying roughly, well, just to make it easy, times 100. So you're paying 2.06 cents per calorie. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 2.06 cents per calorie. In my opinion, that is a great deal because of the nutrients that you're getting. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at what Mountain House costs per serving and also by the calories. All right, so here we have Mountain House, which is $45 for a number 10 can. 45. We divide that by 7 servings, and it comes out to $6.43. So roughly $6.43 per serving. And then if you take that and divide it by 280 calories, which is the same amount of calories that Nutrient Survival has, 280 per serving, you're paying, let's multiply this times 100 to make it easier, you're paying 2.3 cents per calorie. So you're paying roughly 10% more, so 10 or 11% more per calorie and per serving on Mountain House than you are for Nutrient Survival. And I think this is a good exercise, especially for all of those folks that look at that sticker price, $57.75, and then look at a sticker price for Mountain House and say, oh, $45. Whereas Nutrient Survival is actually a good amount less expensive than Mountain House, even with their price increase that they had not too long ago. They had a 5% price increase across the board. So even with that price increase, they're still about 10% less than Mountain House. And ladies and gentlemen, Nutrient Survival does not do shrinkflation. All right. I talked to Eric and Becky a while back, and I said, before you guys ever even think about doing shrinkflation, just bump up the price. Bump up the price because they have to bump up the price. Everyone is. Where have you seen prices go down anywhere? All right. So that is our comparison between Nutrient Survival and Mountain House. And ladies and gentlemen, in all honesty, listen, first of all, in my opinion, every prepper pantry ought to have some freeze-dried foods in them. However, you should always, first and foremost, fill up your pantry with those things that you eat on a regular, everyday basis, first and foremost. And have a good amount of that on there. I say a year's worth of food that you eat on an everyday basis. I purchase Nutrient Survival. Why? Because I eat it on an everyday basis. I consume it on an everyday basis, so I continually purchase it every month to fill in the gaps that I create. All right, but don't go out there, in my opinion, I'm not telling you what to do. Don't go out there if you're just now starting to prep and buy only foods from third parties, like buy only foods from Mountain House, Nutrient Survival, Oxen Farms. No, fill up your pantry with those things that you eat on an everyday basis first, and get a good 6 month to a year supply. Once you've done that and your working pantry is also full, the one that you go to every single day, to do your cooking, then you can go out there and take a look at some freeze-dried foods. Let me tell you why I think that some freeze-dried foods are good to have in your prepper pantry or in your stockpile. For example, when a crisis first occurs, and it can be anything, right? It can be anything like from a hurricane to a tornado or a flood or anything like that. When it first occurs, you want to make sure that while you're taking care of the things that you have to take care of for your family's safety, that you don't have more stress on you than what you need, right? So how easy is it to go ahead and just open up a number 10 can or a pouch of whatever freeze-dried food you have and just add hot water to it, all right? That's easy. It's actually nutritious, right? And it tastes pretty good. Another good reason is that it's light and you can grab a lot of it a lot easier than you could grab your cans of corn and stuff to take with you if you have to leave in a hurry, right? So it's light. Another good reason, and I'll make this the last one, all right, because I can go on, is let's say, for example, we did have a major crisis where food was no longer available, right? Freeze-dried foods, in my opinion, don't create as much of an aroma that travels than if you're actually cooking food from scratch. So if you find yourself in a time where food is at a premium and people are like doing bad things to get food, then you really don't want to advertise to your entire community or town or city or block where you live at. You don't want to advertise to them that you're actually having food because you're cooking it and the aroma is carrying with it. With freeze-dried foods, it creates a very, very little smell. Very little smell it creates. And you can go ahead and cook it in your apartment or in your home and not really have to worry too much about the smell carrying over to your neighbors that may be hungry and willing to do bad things. All right, I turned on the light. Hopefully you'll be able to see it better with the light on. Let's see if it has any pressure inside. Yeah, and it had a little bit of pressure, not that much. Looks pretty good. There you go, that's what it looks like. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you have to realize something about freeze-dried foods, right? Or any kind of long-term food storage. None of it, all right? I don't care how much you like something. None of this food, no matter what brand it is going to be just as good as your grandma's cooking or your mother's cooking. All right. So don't ever purchase any of this food because this may look pretty good here. I've never tasted this before. It may look pretty good, but I guarantee you none of this food, none of it is as good as your grandmother's cooking or your mother's cooking. So don't expect that. Expect something that will be, for me, a successful dish of freeze-dried foods that you buy from a third party. For me, success means that it tastes good. Right, that you don't have to make yourself eat it, that you don't have to, pinch your nose and try to eat it. That to me is successful. Right, so there it is. Let me give it a sniff. And it smells pretty decent. It doesn't have an overpowering smell, but you can smell the sauce in there and everything. Now I'm going to go ahead and cover this back up before I try any of it, because I'm going to go ahead and try it over at my computer. That way you guys can see me try it and I can give you an honest assessment as to how it tastes. So you'll be able to see it in my eyes, ladies and gentlemen, whether I'm lying to you or not, on which one tastes better or not. Although it doesn't really matter which one tastes better to me. What would matter is which one would taste better to you. That's what would matter. That's why I always recommend that if you're going to go ahead and buy things like this, don't go ahead and buy a 3-month supply or a 1-year supply right off the bat. Buy some singles or something like that. That way you can taste them before you commit to buying more. And this right here is the Southwest Medley. Looks pretty good. Like I said, this one here is all vegetarian, so there's no meat in it whatsoever. And to me, it looks pretty good. And I'll tell you right now, one thing that I like to do with the Southwest Medley is I like to put, that green Tabasco sauce? I like to put a few dashes of the green Tabasco sauce in here. Man, it really does it a lot of good. It like brings out the flavor more, right? But then again, I am a Tabasco food addict, right? So let's go to the computer. Let's see what these things taste like. I'm pretty excited to try the Mountain House. So like I said, the Mountain House smells pretty good. You can really smell the sauce. Yeah, it actually smells pretty good. The Southwest Medley, it smells good also. And when I say good, I mean it doesn't smell off-putting. I can kind of like smell the peppers in there, but it's not overwhelming. I'm going to try this one first because this one doesn't have any meat. And I don't want the flavor of the meat to linger in my mouth, you know, if it does, so that it won't mess up the flavor. This one to me has a bit more of a blander taste than this one, which in my opinion is good. Well, I can't say than this one, a blander smell than this one, which in a way it's good because that way whoever's eating it can make it their own. Like I said, I put a couple of dashes of that green Tabasco sauce, and man, it's so good with that in it. But anyone can add whatever they need to add to it to make it to their palate, right? So let's give this a try. And what time is it? Yep, it's lunchtime, so I'm actually pretty hungry. I didn't eat breakfast today. And as you can see here, this has kidney beans, it's got black beans, and I believe pinto beans as well. So let's give it a try. I mean, what can I say, ladies and gentlemen? I told you I'm biased. I've been eating this for so long that I have to have it like on a daily basis. I love this stuff. And for some people, man, that's really good actually. For some people would ask me, well, what about all those nutrients and vitamins and stuff that they put in them? Can you taste them? In all honesty, I can only taste the food, but I have had some people tell me that they can taste the vitamins in it. I've never tasted anything that tasted like vitamins in any of the foods that they sell, any of the nutrient survival foods. But ladies and gentlemen, we're all different. We have different palates. And again, I'll say this, before you go out and buy a large amount of anything, all right, especially if it's from a third party, like a freeze-dried food, make sure that you try the stuff first. Make sure that you buy one item of each or whatever it is before you commit to buying a lot. So now let's try the Mountain House. And I have to say that both of their appearances, they both look pretty good. So they both look appetizing. They don't look like, you know, like garbage, right? I'm going to make sure that I get some chicken from the Mountain House along with some rice and some beans. And there you go. That's kind of too big of a bite. All right. And I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, that this is good. It's got more of a chew because it's got meat in it. But which one do I prefer? I mean, in all honesty, ladies and gentlemen, I prefer my nutrient survival. But that's not really what this is about. This is a good dish. It tastes good. This is a good dish as well. It tastes good. What it comes down to is, what is it that you want? You know, what is it that you want to get? That's the most important thing. Now, I told you, so I actually recommend both of these. I recommend this Mountain House right here, and I recommend the Nutrient Survival. I recommend this one more because of the nutrients, obviously, all right? And it does taste good. And as I said in the beginning of the video, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you how it is that I'm going to fix the Mountain House. I'm going to fix this. I have a lot of Mountain House. I probably have, I want to say close to like 9 months supply of Mountain House, where if all I had to eat was Mountain House for 9 months, I have enough to eat Mountain House for like 9 months. Okay? But how do you fix it as far as the nutrients? Because I think that the nutrients is a very important thing. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to mix in some of my Nutrient Survival with the Mountain House that I have, because this right here, in all honesty, and I'm going to tell you how it tastes here in a minute. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, for me is one meal. This is 600 calories, less than 600 calories. 3 of these a day, if it was worst case scenario, because I don't plan on eating long-term food storage every day, even in the worst of crises. Why? Because I have the food that I normally eat on an everyday basis already put away in my pantry. But in a worst case scenario, you're looking at 3 of these servings per day. And now I've got 1 full serving of Nutrient Survival and 1 full serving of Mountain House. And I'm getting the nutrients that my body needs. Let's see how it tastes mixed up. And that there, ladies and gentlemen, is something that I can get behind. That is a good combination. But then again, remember, I'll eat anything. Okay? I will eat anything. I hope that you consider giving it a try. If you do have Nutrient Survival, but you also have some other brands of food like Mountain House, Oxen Farm, a good way to continue to get the nutrients that you need is just to mix it together. And this is really good. All right, so I'm going to finish this. It's my lunchtime. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen, and have a great day. God bless you all.